The good life is for achievers who want to pursue it. So the first step is we're going to speak about having a budget. So let me say this. You will not ever get ahead financially in life if you don't control your expenses. Simple as that. I've been a millionaire for over 30 years, so I feel qualified. I'm not some Instagram influencer who's giving financial tips and hoping I make enough money off the financial tips to make a few bucks. Okay? I've been making a lot of money, and I've had a fortune for more than 3 decades. And I can tell you this, and it doesn't matter how much money I have rolling in today, you still have to manage what's coming in, and you have to have a budget. A working budget which is constantly adjusted month by month to the realities of the change in your life. Now, by quarter, you're making structural changes, and then monthly, you're making small changes. But the fact of the matter is a working budget is not just, oh, I did my budget 3 years ago, now it works. Well, maybe you have a new kid. Maybe you've moved to a new home. Maybe your kids have gone to private school. Maybe they've gone to college. Maybe they've left college. So you have an adjustment all the time. I'm in that spot right now where we are almost empty nesters and the budget is changing. Now I have horses, so the budget always expands too. So 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I will guarantee you the vast majority of those people do not have a working home budget. So how do you do it? There's 3 elements to it. You first tabulate your core fixed expenses. These are the expenses you can do nothing about, okay? Your mortgage or rent, your car payments, these are the things you've committed to. They are fixed expenses. Your property taxes, your all of the core expenses that you have committed to. Dave Ramsey says you must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you, no doubt. So what are your core expenses? It's like, boom, these I currently can do nothing about, and I've committed to them. Next, you have your irregular expenses. These are expenses that might come in annually, biannually, quarterly, or once in a while. And so you want to make sure you keep a track of those. Again, because people tend to under budget, they budget their core expenses and the next 2 categories don't make it in oftentimes. So like a car registration, that comes in once a year. Your auto insurance might come in twice a year. Some people do it monthly. So you have these irregular expenses, but they're coming. You got to have car insurance, so you're going to pay that. Tuitions are often done by semester, so those are irregular expenses. Errol Flynn said, my problem lies in reconciling my gross habits with my net income. So that was from the 1930s, Errol Flynn, the great actor. So this is not new. Everybody struggles with this. Core expenses, those are fixed, irregular expenses. And then we have discretionary expenses. Discretionary expenses. These are the budget busters. And by the way, this is the good life. The good life requires you to spend a few bucks. You know, I was in Hawaii recently. I took my wife for a couple of really nice meals. Those are discretionary expenses. They're the good parts of life. Now, what makes it really good is that they were budgeted for. You know, the best vacation in the world is the one that's paid for before you go. Those are really cool because you come back with no aftertaste. So one of the tips here is you go back to your last 12 months statements and you count up all of your irregular expenses. Now, what happens with these discretionary expenses, what happens with these discretionary expenses is people go, well, I won't do that again. No, that was a once-off. You count it, you calculate it, you divide by 12, and it becomes my average monthly discretionary expenses, because you might not have kids' braces in March of last year again, but you'll have something else this next March. And so that's why the discretionary expenses, to me, you do your trailing 12 months, divide by 12, and then plan on it as, here's my discretionary expenses for the month. So I have my fixed expenses, my irregulars, I have my monthlies. Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.